And Sean Hodavino, Devil's Digest. Just talk about the performance that Daniyel had against BYU, and I know it was kind of odd because he did not play the entire first half. Then he plays the third quarter and has an excellent third quarter. Then not playing in the fourth quarter. Can you kind of walk us through like what the thought process was in terms of how much you played him and how well he did?
You know, he was struggling with the little nicks and bruises, and so I wanted to make sure that it was a process where Rachaad was getting it, and then we could come in with Daniyel. I didn't want him to get beat up early, and then we were down to just one guy, and so he came in and gave us a huge boost. And it looks like, you know, I should have, there's always an afterthought of shouldn't have gotten him earlier, but he did an incredible job coming in. He's better this week, and so he should be able to go a lot more.
Hey, Sean. Chris Cartman, son of a source. Zach Hill and Herm both talked about some of the issues related to signaling and snapping and all that stuff. What was your sense of that stuff as it related specifically to the running back position, and just obviously a frustrating kind of a night in that respect?
Absolutely. You know, whenever things don't go right and that you feel that it could be controllable, it's always a disappointment. But you know, they were loud. They did a good job disrupting our cadence. I thought that we needed to pay closer focus to detail and be able to overcome that, especially with the maturity level of our offense. And we learned from it, and so we're going to make sure that we take care of it from here forward.
And Coach, kind of piggyback off that with the backs and the line. I mean, just how do you feel that the line's adjusting to the backs and their communication, running the ball, but also in pass protection?
You know, I think they're doing a great job. You know, our backs have all the trust in the O-line, and we work together on blitz pickups and everything like that. And so there's a trust factor. Rachaad and Daniyel and Chip are very bright in order to making sure that we're in the right blitz package pickup, and they have the right to overcall those as well. But the communication is very good, and they get along real well. Relationship is good.
Coach in the back here, Rachaad White after the game tweeted out that he felt like some of the blame fell on him and he could have played better. Is that just tweet maybe an insight to who he is as a person? You
know, whenever there's a loss like that and unexpected, because we really, especially from the running back room, feel that we should win those kinds of games, and they take it hard on themselves because they feel that they're the leaders of the group, and so I told him not to be as hard on himself and make sure that we correct all the little things and help the younger guys through the process, and then we'll come back and fix it and get ready for Colorado.
Sean, for everything that Daniyel's kind of been through from when he got to ASU, and then even going back into the game after getting hurt against UNLV, and then playing through what he did at BYU, what does that sort of say about him? Can you just give us some insight into the type of kid that he is?
He's a resilient kid. He's a tough-minded kid. You know, don't take his quietness for his non-competitiveness, because he's probably the most competitive. You know, people don't see in the huddle. He's the guy in there making sure everybody's straight, the smallest guy in there. And so, you know, coming in and competing with Chip and Rachaad, you know, he feels like maybe he's the third wheel, and every day he comes competing. And it's never an afterthought to him that, you know, I'm going to sit back and let those two guys go. As you can see, every time the last couple of games he's got in, he's been very, very productive. And so he's making me make sure that I don't take him off the field, and that's a good thing.
What is sort of your sense of the state of your group going into Pac-12 play, and what things specifically about Colorado are you kind of focused on?
You know, they're going to be a physical group. You know, they have something to prove. So do we. I feel that if we limit our mistakes, we can be a pretty good offense, and that's all comes to focus and detail and all of those things. But our group is doing a heck of a job coming in last night on their own and doing things on their own. I see I see the urgency in them after that loss, and hopefully it'll come about on Saturday.
Sean, obviously we're shorthanded without Chip, not only last week but also in the UNLV game. I mean, do you feel that's affecting a guy like Rachaad? I mean, he's still scoring touchdowns, and I know we're was spoiled to see him averaging 10 yards a carry, and now it's maybe half of that. But do you think the workload on Rachaad is really kind of showing its effects, if you will?
I think from a mental standpoint, because he always had Chip to lean on, knowing that I could come out for a break, and so now he has to get into the mindset that I'm going to have to take that load on a little bit, and now got Daniyel coming in, and so Daniyel alleviate that workload, and hopefully they can work together as well as Rachaad and Chip did. And I think that's just the mental aspect of them, and they got to get over that. And today I saw Daniyel and Rachaad working really well together, talking the way Chip and him talk, and then Chip comes in the group. So I think they understand what needs to be done, and they'll get it done.
Shaun, I know this isn't like one of your main focuses, but Colorado's lineman Nate Landman's really great player, had 18 tackles in the last game. When you're watching film of them, does a guy like that pop, and what kind of things do you think about going up against a linebacker like that?
He's a downhill guy that is very, very productive. We need to make sure that we know where he's at and try to counter his strengths, and I think we're going to be able to do that. But again, he's very productive. You can tell that he's the leader of the defense. He's running all over the place, pointing, and the communication leads with him. But I thought BYU had a couple of great linebackers as well too, from an athletic standpoint. So I don't think it's going to be as different as we saw last week.